This one is from AITAH as well and is titled, Am I the Astronaut for Wanting to Spend Time with My Son Without My Wife? So I have a 7-year-old son who I don't get to see nearly as often as I'd like. I work from 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. on weekdays, and by the time I get home, my son is getting ready to go to bed. My wife stays at home, so she does most of the childcare. On weekends, I spend time with Nick, but my wife always hovers around him. I never get to spend any alone time with Nick, and any time I try to do something with him, she always has to be involved. Mario Kart catch, playing with his wrestling toys. I never get to have just father-son moments with him, and it irks me, as it makes me feel like I'm just an accessory as a parent to her. She gets to be with Nick and have alone time when I'm at work on the weekdays, and on the weekends, I never get any alone bonding time. I told her this multiple times, and she says there's nothing wrong with always being around. I've obviously said that we should be spending time together as a family unit, but that doesn't mean I shouldn't get an hour or two on the weekends where it's just him and I. So on Saturday, I decided to take Nick to a local arcade and grab some ice cream. I know on Wednesday my wife is going with him to an amateur wrestling show and stopping at his favorite restaurant after. When I told my wife I was going to take him alone, she got really upset and said it's ridiculous that she can't come as well. I told her how she's going to have a fun day with Nick on Wednesday and I'd really like to make my own memories with him. She got upset and told me to just leave and slammed the bedroom door behind me. So I took Nick and we had a blast together. It's probably the first time in close to a year I got to do something like that with just the two of us. On the way home, she texted that she didn't feel like making dinner. I said no problem and grabbed us some Chinese takeout, her favorite, and when we got home she refused to eat and wouldn't talk to me. She then stormed out of the house at about 7:30 and said she'd be back late and not to wait up. I then got a text from her sister at around midnight saying I really needed to talk to my wife and that she went over there and got blackout drunk and wouldn't stop sobbing about how I don't love her and don't want to spend time with her. The next morning she came home and I asked her to talk and she refused. She said that she was fine and just had a bit of an episode. I didn't push or gave her space for most of the day. When we went to bed for the night, she said I was a complete asshole and I should never try to take a child away from their mother. I said I was not taking Nick away from her and she was insane for reacting like this for a few hours with my son at the arcade. Today I woke up and decided to take the day off work because I wanted to spend some time with her, and when I told her, she was upset and said she was running errands, so there's no point. I said I'd go with her, and she said she didn't want me with her and left the house in a rush. I feel like she's overreacting to an extreme level, to the point it seems like she's having a manic episode. She's never acted like this in the 11 years we've been together, and I almost feel like I'm being gaslit into believing what I did was awful. Am I the astronaut? Well, this is an interesting one. The vibe that I got going through this was she may feel like she has to attach herself to the child for the husband to want to spend time or to spend time doing things with the husband. This might be an occasion of like she's lost her identity and is just a mother, or feels like she's just a mother now, and that's her job and she's doing it and she's hovering. But in this case, she might be doing it because the only chance she gets to spend time with her husband is if she does it through her son. It's possible. And in that case, it is y'all need a date night. You need to find a sitter and you need a date night for you two. I think as OP talks about this, not getting one-on-one time, and one-on-one time with parents is important, right? One-on-one time with each of your kids is important. I think there's a bonding that happens there, and there's a communication level that happens there that you won't get otherwise. One-on-one time is important. One-on-one time with your wife, also very important. And we didn't hear anything about that here. And I feel like she might feel neglected by him, but he has this desire to want to do things with his son, so she's attached himself so that she can benefit by proxy. I'm not saying that's the case. It's possible. He wants alone time. I feel like to test this theory, the pitch would be he pitches to do something that is one-on-one time with his son, and in the same breath pitches a date night next day or right after, maybe night before, something. But there has to be a balance there, and I think you would at least discover if it is an issue of her needing more attention from him, or if her having severe separation anxiety. Angel says she's cheating and the son knows the guy. She's afraid he'll out her. I mean, that's possible. That's a wild theory, but it is entirely possible. He's a poor 7-year-old kid. If that's the case, that's garbage. Garbage. She may also want validation of being a good mother, so she may be trying to show him, H. Bear says. Yeah, that's possible. There's a lot of possibilities here. I feel like I mean, mom here is obviously having trouble processing emotions and what's actually going on. So is OP. So is dad having trouble processing and finding out exactly what's going on here. There needs to be some communication. This is a communication issue because he said he really wanted the one-on-one time with his son, and she may feel neglected there, or there could be a different issue. And if it is separation anxiety, she would react the exact same way, right? So we don't know which one of those things it is. Either way, you are not the astronaut for wanting to spend time with your son without your wife. I'm going to say NTA to that question, to that specific question. But I think there's another problem here. There definitely is another problem here that you need to address and start trying to figure out, OP. And that is it separation anxiety? Is it that she doesn't feel like she's getting enough attention from you? Or as Angel said, is there something nefarious going on here where she has a different reason for not wanting you to have alone time with him because there's something she doesn't want you to know? All of those things are possible. You're not an asshole for wanting to spend time with your kid one-on-one. It needs to be done. But there's more to the story here, and that's what you got to figure out.